it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts again. Thank you very much for joining me today. Did you miss me yesterday? So you may have noticed that yesterday I didn't post a video, and that was because yesterday was launch day for Inspire Create Challenge group, which is a new design team that I was invited to join, where we are issuing fortnightly design challenges. So there is a link to that website on my blog. So if you want to go and have a look at that, please just click on the link. My website is linked below this post. So if you click the More button underneath this video, you will get to see the link to my website, which is for this specific project. But in the sidebar, there is a link to Inspire Create Challenge. So I hope you find that a helpful resource and keep going back to see what people are doing. So today's project is it's Thursday, so it's Thank You Thursday. So this is a little gift box that I have put together using acetate. And it's just a little lid that goes over the acetate. And now I have to thank Dawn Griffith over in the States, who was the first person I saw doing this. I think other people may have done it since then, but the first person I saw doing these projects was her, so thank you, Dawn. This is obviously just a belly band, which is easier to put on the first time, not the second time. So this is using two products that are from the annual catalogue. Well, actually 3 products from the annual catalogue and 1 from the autumn-winter. So, starting with the autumn-winter, I am using the lovely Foil Frenzy Specialty Designer Series paper. And there's a whole suite. Starts on page 76 of the annual catalogue. I think we sort of forget the annual catalogue as soon as the autumn-winter catalogue has been launched, but it's still there. You can still buy from it. So this is the paper I'm using. This is the foil here. Then I am using, for the acetate box, I'm using the acetate card boxes, which are on page 13 of the autumn-winter catalogue. Now, something just to note, I'm filming this in the UK, and the UK boxes are not the same size as the North American boxes. I think we're the same size as, well, we're definitely the same size as the rest of Europe, and I think we're the same size as Australia and New Zealand, but I think the size in the US is slightly different because it works, and US and Canada, sorry, Canada. I think they work to the different size paper card. So we work on the metric A4 card, and the US and Canada work on 8.5 by 11. So your boxes are a slightly different size. So my measurements are going to work with the boxes that we have. So that's just something to note. So you get 10 boxes in a pack. They come flat packed. So they are literally flat packed, and you just pop them up to put them together. So you just fold the score lines. They are beautifully scored, so all you do is unflatten them, if you like. And they are only, let me just find that page again, having stupidly closed the catalogue. So they're £6 for a box, and they will hold at least 5 standard cards and envelopes. So you can do them as a little gift pack to gift cards in. And I do say at least. So it kind of depends on, I say at least, so long as you don't too heavily embellish. But you may be able to get a few more in if you're doing single layer cards. But if you're doing heavily embellished, lots of dimension, then you won't get quite as many cards in. But that's the basic idea. So all I have done for these, and this is the one I'm going to be making now, is cut the box in half. So this would be the full-size box, and as it happens, you can get a Crunchy and a Twix, and these are the multi-pack size ones. So a small Crunchie and a small Twix will fit nicely lengthwise into the box. So I just made a mark where the box needed to be cut and cut it with a pair of scissors whilst it was still flat. So I was going through 2 layers at once. Very easy to do. Just don't use your really nice, beautiful, I'm keeping them for ribbon, paper snips. Use something a little meatier. Or you could use a craft knife and a metal ruler if you are so inclined. I'm not very good with craft knives. Well, I am very good at snipping and cutting me. So it's quite a simple project, so let's get started. The measurements are slightly different for this than for this version because I'm coming down a little further. I will put both on my blog. You do not need to write any measurements down. I will have that for you both in metric and in imperial. As ever, I will work in imperial and convert from there. So my simply scored scoring board. This time, so this one was the Berry Burst stripe with Berry Burst ribbon and card and ink. And this time I'm going with Tangerine Tango. I went for Berry Burst with the Crunchies because of the purple. It was the kind of nearest of the foils that went with the purple. Doesn't go terribly well with the red. And this time I'm going with the Tangerine Tango. And again, it's not brilliant with the red, but you know, who's going to be looking at the exact colour match when they're getting all that chocolate? Me, maybe, because as you know, I don't do chocolate. Anyway, Procrastination City, here we come. So I have cut this at 6 1/8 of an inch. That just allows it to slip on and off nicely. And this particular one I have cut at 3 3/4. She says, yes, 3 3/4. The one for the Crunchies I cut at 2 3/4. So for the Crunchies, I've got an inch overlap. For this, I'm going for 1.5 inches. So with the long side at the top, all I need to do is score at 3/4 of an inch on both of the ends, and I'm going to do a flip. And then with the short edge at the top, I'm going to score at 1.5, and again flip it round and score at 1.5. Basically, you're ending up with 3/4 of an inch between the two score lines. I just like to know that the two things are going to marry up, so I do flip them round, particularly as I'm working in 1/8 inches and such like, so it just makes me feel more comfortable. So somewhere I have got, there we are, buried under a catalogue, my bone folder. So I'm just going to, because this is craft cardstock, you can give it a reasonable amount of welly, but it is foiled, so don't go mad. Just fold the score lines and burnish, and then bringing in our snips. These two edge pieces are going to wrap round, and this is going to be on the inside. So I want these to be straight cuts. So I'm cutting to the outside of my score line and then cutting my score line out. So like that. It just needs to be a hair, doesn't need to be too much of a wedge out, just a hair so that it all sits nicely. And again, cut to the outside of the score line, wedge out, outside of the score line, and wedge out. So there we go. Fast fuse, and I'm going to put fast fuse on one outside edge, one of the large flaps and this little flap, and then one of them I'm going to leave bare. And as ever, it's just a little check at the end and a light touch. So heavy-handed is not what we're looking for. If you go heavy-handed, it'll get all in a pickle, and we don't like getting all in a pickle. So there we go. It's a little odd putting the fast fuse on the foil. It doesn't stick in quite the same way with the foil, but it's perfectly good. And then, as if we were making a full-size box, you just wrap round the one with without any glue. Oh, no, that was the wrong way round. Should have done the one with the glue first. Fortunately, I didn't press it down too hard. So we can undo. So, let's try that again. Round with the one with the glue. Just line that up. And then the one without the glue. And, oops. And just line that up top and bottom. So that you've got a nice neat edge. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite join up on the lines around the box. So if that's something that's going to worry you, I highly recommend not using this paper and using the dots, because the dots are kind of all over the place. So it doesn't matter so much. So this is going to be our front, because this is the fold, whereas this is the back because it's got the cut line. And then, moment of truth, it just slips on as if it was made for it. Perfect. So, I am now going to take, for this one I'm going to use some of the Very Vanilla with the metal edge, the gold metal edge. And all I'm doing is wrapping it round and tying a bow. And that's really just to keep body and soul together. And as ever, when trying to do these things on camera, is the moment where I end up with all thumbs and no fingers. Because life's like that. Yeah, you see, it just doesn't want to tie. Let's try a bigger loop. And a little finger in there. So we're almost, oh, this is frightening, we're almost getting to October. Ooh. I got an email from a local restaurant recently that very kindly reminded me that there were only 100 days until Christmas, which was slightly scary, and that was some days ago. So yeah, so that's a slightly odd bow that I've managed to tie, but you know what, it's fine. So that's the box done. So the only other thing I need to do now is bring in my scrap of craft cardstock and my scrap of Tangerine Tango, because we are embracing Tangerine Tango. So Tangerine Tango ink. I've taken a thank you from the Thank You So Very Much Flourishing Phrases. This is a double set. Would have been sensible if I had brought both of them over. But when did I ever do anything sensible? And can I find the second one now? No. Isn't that helpful? Which tends to make me feel I've possibly put it somewhere useful. Oh, there we are. Right, so, sorry about that. So, this is the first part, the one of two, and this is the two of two. So, they kind of have some insides and some outsides, but it's a really useful set. It's got pretty much everything, with the possible exception of birthday. So, we've got thank you, just a note, marriage is a journey, hello, comfort and healing to you, God wanted to brighten up the world, with sympathy and congratulations. So, and then some bits to kind of go on the inside. So yeah, lovely set, and it's got a set of thinlets that go with it. So do have a look at that. I will link that below, obviously. So I'm using the Thank You So Very Much, and just cards. The craft cardstock has a smoother side and a less smooth side. Actually, I'm going to go that way. So I'm stamping on this slightly smoother side. And you can get this as a multi-pack in the new Autumn Winter catalogue with the Old Olive as a 12 by 12 pack, which is quite useful because it's always useful to have 12 by 12 craft cardstock. It's great for the bottoms of boxes. So, just using our lovely label punch, and I'm going to punch one out of Tangerine Tango as well. Those are just scraps, so only small bits. Right, so I'm going to cut the Tangerine Tango label in half-ish, and then pop some multi-purpose glue on each of those. Don't need a huge amount, because all we're doing is sticking this to the back of our label. One thing to bear in mind with stamping on craft cardstock is it does tend to run a wee bit. So if that worries you, I would use crumb cake instead, because crumb cake is quite a good match for the craft cardstock. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. So that is always an alternative if you don't want to embrace that slightly fuzzy look. And then all I need to do is find my piercing tool and some almost finished mini glue dots. Pop a mini glue dot on the back and pop it. Oh, let's move that ribbon up a bit and pop that there. And there we are. Quick, easy, simple, but effective. So there we go. Twix, you could probably get another Twix in here. I think you're at your limit with 3 crunchies. But I hope you enjoyed that. Quick, simple, easy project. Do remember, if you hop over to my website and place an order using the current Hostess code, for every £25 you spend, you not only get to be a member of my VIP group, but you also get an entry to win a Merry Patterns stamp set. I'm doing a draw. Entries are free. UK only, I'm afraid. For every £25 order or multiple of £25 you place with me between now and the end of October, you will be entered into a draw for that stamp set, and there may even be 2 or possibly 3. Haven't quite worked out how many I'm going to manage to get just yet, but I've definitely got one in addition to that one, so there may be 2. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, usual madness, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave any comments, please do so below. I always answer all my comments. It's lovely to hear from you. If you've got any questions, by all means just leave a comment below or hop over to my website and you will find my email address, which is also, I think, in the link below. Contact me via Facebook, also linked below. And the dimensions are, surprise, surprise, in the blog post linked below. Only other thing to just quickly mention is you may remember that come the end of October, as a birthday present to me, I would really love to have 2,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, I would be very grateful if you would. We're at, well, we've got about 250 to go as at the point where I'm recording this. So thank you all for your support so far. And fingers crossed we will make it to my 2,000 and my birthday present. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Take care, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye!